So Steeler legend James Harrison has been making some headlines recently. So I thought it would be a good idea to react to what he's had to say. First, here's his thoughts on Mike Tomlin's coaching style.
With Mike, the biggest thing, I guess, that I liked about him is he is a player's coach. And the thing that I disliked about him is he is a player's coach to a point of sometimes it can disrupt, you know what I'm saying? Because it goes maybe a little too far with allowing certain things, you know what I'm saying? With certain players. And then it becomes an issue, with that player.
Now, before I give my take on what Harrison said there, I also wanted to give you guys a current player's perspective on Coach T. Christian Kuntz, long snapper extraordinaire, had this to say about Tomlin's coaching style. It is kind of a rebuttal to what Harrison said here. I don't think Christian Kuntz was responding directly, but this was him on the Caboli and Mac podcast.
He's going to get it out of you. People, I always say people call him a player's coach. And yeah, obviously he's a player's coach because you see how many guys want to come play with him and how many of these veteran guys that have been around the league that their main reason for coming here is playing for Coach Tomlin. But, a player coach, yes, but he's going to get on your ass. Like, he is going to let you know about every single finer detail. He's going to call you out. It doesn't matter who you are in the team meeting, in the locker room, whatever, on the field, who's there, who's in front, who's listening. You're getting called out if you're not doing your job. You're being held accountable. And if you're not doing your job, then you're not going to be there. And he will hold you accountable. And, people that want to say, oh, he's too friendly with the players. Like, what does that even mean? He's too friendly with the, like, I seriously don't even know what that means. He's ruthless. He's literally ruthless. He's talks shit. He's ruthless to, like, and he thrives off that, and he wants you to thrive off that. And, I feel like him being that kind of motivator is why he's so unbelievable at his job. Like, truly, he's incredible.
So how do I feel about these differing opinions on Tomlin's coaching style? To be honest with you, I could care less. I don't care how you want to categorize Tomlin as a coach. Is he a player's coach, not a player's coach? That ain't the name of the game. That's not the job. It's the approach or the style you could use to get the job done. But the job is to have this team being a contender and winning games. We say it's a results-based business, right? What have the results been recently? Not good enough. So I don't care the style or the approach. I just want to see the results, because I don't get why people make players coach out to be this bad thing. Like, there's pros and cons just like any other approach or style, right? Because there's a ton of coaches that are Hall of Famers that you would consider players coaches, right? Pete Carroll, one of those rah-rah motivational guys. Players want to play for him. People would consider him like a player's coach. Sean McVay is a player's coach. He's very lax with his players, relatable to his players, but he's also a scheme genius and offensive guru in the modern era. Jimmy Johnson back in the day, Hall of Fame coach. He was a player's coach. He famously said this:
I'm going to be very consistent. I'm going to treat every one of you differently. I said, how I treat you is according to how you are on this scale. I said, if you work hard, you do everything that we ask, and you're a good player, you're at the top of the scale. If you don't work hard, if you don't do what I ask you to do, and you're not a good player, you're at the bottom of the scale. And I said, that's how I treat you. And so with John Roper, a backup linebacker, one day we're in special teams meeting. I look back there and, John is, he's sleeping. And I'm saying, what in the world's going on? We're getting ready to play San Francisco. Big ball game. I said, John, evidently you're not getting enough sleep. And I cut him. And he never played another down of football. And that's a shame. Well, somebody asked me, he said, well, what if Troy Aikman would have been asleep? I said, simple. I would have walked back there and I'd have said, Troy, wake up. And I'd gone back to my seat.
So it's a style. It's a way to go about being a coach. You could be successful or unsuccessful being a player's coach or not being a player's coach. You could be successful or unsuccessful being a disciplinarian, being ruthless and not relating to your players as much. It doesn't matter. What are the results? Just like playing quarterback. There's so many different quarterbacks out there. There's so many different styles and ways to play quarterback. Just win, man. Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, for me, what was Tomlin's coaching style early on when he first became the Steelers head coach, those first 4 or 5 seasons? Let's go back to that. Whatever coaching style that was, we were winning games. We were going on Super Bowl runs. We were deep in the playoffs. And if anything, what's funny about this whole players coach discussion is, like, if anything, Tomlin was considered more of a players coach back then because he was younger and probably related to the players better, right? So I don't care about the coaching style, man. I really don't. No matter what, it needs to translate on the field. Because we could talk till we're blue in the face about Tomlin being a players coach, or he's too ruthless, he's great with his schemes, he has every attention to detail, knows how to get his players prepared, works his ass off, sleeps at the facility. We could talk about all these things about what makes Tomlin great or why he's such a good coach. How's it translating? Like, why are we getting blown out in these playoff games then? Why do we continue to have these letdown games against heavy favorites during the regular season? Now, it hasn't been all bad with Tomlin. I think objectively he is a good coach. He's going to be a Hall of Fame coach. The resume speaks for itself. We have had good moments, and even good moments in recent years. There's something to be said for the relevancy, the consistency, but it's not good enough. So whatever his coaching style is kind of irrelevant to me. And here's the thing, too. I'm sure Tomlin has changed his ways and has picked up on some things and has put other things to the side on how he approaches being a head coach over 18 years. He's been doing this a long time. So his approach has probably shifted over the years. New perspectives, different motivation tactics, different ways to look at the game, different ways to teach the game. He's brought in different players, different coaches under him. What's the results, man? Again, we could talk about all these different factors, this and that, coaching styles. What's the results? For Tomlin, good early on. Like I said, really good early on. I thought, with Tomlin as the coach and Big Ben, man, like that combo, I thought we were going to have 4 or 5 Super Bowls at this point. But instead, we don't have a playoff win in the last 8 years. That's the bottom line. Now, great opportunity ahead of us in 2025 to change the narrative. And that's what I was saying going into that wild card game against the Ravens. You know how we ended the season with those 4 straight losses, looking like we went backwards as an offense. Defense was getting shredded, all this stuff. We look bad. Those last 4 games of the 2024 regular season. But I said, we have a playoff game ahead of us. On the road against the Ravens, division rivals. We win this game. I forget about those 4 games. I forget about how the regular season ended. We just won a playoff game, and we're a couple games away from the Super Bowl. You want it in the game that really, really mattered. You got it done when it really, really mattered. Regular season, that's good. We did our job at least to an extent. We got a playoff berth. Now, we would have liked home field advantage. Would have liked to have finished the season on a better note. Won the division. We didn't. You have a playoff game. Win that game. Okay. Forgot about the regular season. Completely forgot about the regular season. So, Tomlin, the Steelers have that opportunity ahead of us right now. We go 13-4, go on a playoff run. We get to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. I forget about our playoff drought. Forget about that. I'm excited about Tomlin being the head coach for 2026 and beyond and leading us into the future in the new era. So great opportunity ahead of us here to switch the narrative on not being able to get this playoff win. Or I guess to answer the question about whether or not Tomlin can still get the job done as the Steelers head coach. Like that, again, that's what it comes down to. Get the job done. Going back to what I said at the very beginning. Coaching style, approach, I don't care. Just what's the results? That's it. Okay. Another thing Harrison said, and this has to do with the Rodgers-Tomlin dynamic. He has a variance of opinions on how he sees things potentially playing out. And I'm just going to warn you, I feel like this is an extreme hot take. Have a listen, though.
I think they can make it work if they win it. If they start losing and it's looking like they ain't going to make above a 500, I think it gets real ugly real fast. Like, to the point of like they
don't think about what you say.
No, I'm saying to the point of like they may just be like, you know what, let's let this dude go mid-season for Aaron. Like, let's just get him out of here, put one of these other quarterbacks in. Mike T ain't going nowhere.
This one definitely has some personal elements to it. There's definitely some personal things from the past that are leaking into this James Harrison take, because we all know how Harrison's tenure with the Steelers ended. It was definitely not in ceremonial fashion. And if you guys need a refresher, in 2017, we draft TJ Watt. Harrison is still on the roster, and there's definitely a misunderstanding between Harrison and Tomlin about Harrison's role. TJ Watt, in his rookie year, starts to play a lot, and it becomes the TJ Watt show. Harrison's role is diminished. I don't even know if he was getting any snaps. And yeah, there's definitely a misunderstanding. I think Harrison felt like he was misled by Tomlin on what his role was going to be or what the plan was. And at some point, as time went on during that season, Harrison started to act in an unprofessional manner behind the scenes in meetings and throughout the course of the week leading up to Sundays. And ultimately, the Steelers and Harrison had to part ways. It became a toxic environment. And then Harrison ends up signing with the enemy, goes to the Patriots. That was weird. But yeah, so I think there's some personal stuff going on with this take here and how he feels the Rodgers situation is going to play out here with Tomlin. Like, come on, bro. There's no chance in hell Aaron Rodgers is going to get cut, let alone benched. There's no way. Because even if the Steelers start off rocky or things are looking a little bleak early on or midway through the season, like, Tomlin's going to rely on Rodgers to get us out of that. He has too much respect for Rodgers. And I think that, you've seen it play out in the past with other legend quarterbacks. Big Ben and Russell Wilson. When it was Big Ben and Big Ben's last season, weren't we like 1-4 or something? And there were fake fans, the fake media, a bunch of clowns out there that were calling for Ben to get benched or us to consider putting Mason in. I said, these people don't know football. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And yeah, Tomlin stuck with Ben throughout the course of that season. Ben proved him right. We go on a run, make the playoffs. Big Ben has all those game-winning drives, puts the team on his back, etc. And he did the same thing with Russell Wilson last year when things were looking a little bit bleak at the end of the season. Still stuck with him. Now you could argue, is that for right or wrong? That's a different debate for a different day. But I think Tomlin has a certain amount of respect for quarterbacks of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, the Hall of Fame caliber, like a Rodgers, a Big Ben, and a Russ, that he's going to stick with them, show them respect, no matter how rocky it gets. There's just no chance in hell that Tomlin's going to bench or cut Rodgers. No way. After all we've been through this offseason with the patience of waiting on Rodgers, the Tomlin-Rodgers relationship or the affinity that they have towards another, again, the respect that's there that we've seen over the course of however many years when they've gone up against each other, now they're together on the same team. There's no chance. There's no chance. I think Harrison's letting some personal stuff get in the way of this take or bleed into his take on this. We'll just say that. That's it for today's show, though. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys also appreciate the new vibes, man, the new lighting, the new setup I got kind of going here. Still some more upgrades to be made. I feel like I could maybe get some better lighting in the backdrop, but I feel like this is pretty damn good for what I got going right now. I do want to add some more memorabilia, though. Maybe some helmets, get some better stuff. If you guys have any suggestions, drop it in the comments. But again, hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Let me know your thoughts on some of these takes that I reacted to. Stay chilling. Peace.